Halloween might seem like a modern festival, but it is actually deeply rooted in the Celtic pagan festival Samhain. This was a religious celebration to welcome the harvest at the end of summer, and started Halloween traditions like bonfires and trick or treating. Here is a broader overview of Samhain. It starts on the evening of 31 October and continues on to the 1st of November, which is interesting since 1 and 2 November are also the Spanish Day of the Dead festival. Additionally, when you look up the type of people who took part in the celebration, you'll see that it was pagans, Druids, and people in Wicca, meaning witchcraft. This obviously tells you that it is a satanic festival. Celebrations included divination and spells, which begs the question if Christians and believers in Yahuwah, or God, should partake in these practices, especially if the Bible condemns witchcraft to the point of stating witches should get the death penalty. Deuteronomy 18 verse 10 says, There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or one who practices witchcraft, or a soothsayer, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer. And Exodus 22 verse 18 to 20 says, You shall not permit a sorceress to live. Now let's look at the practices of this festival and how it links to the Halloween celebrations. Bonfires were a big part of the festival and were deemed to have protective and cleansing powers. Obviously, this idea is unbiblical, and therefore any protective power given by bonfires would come from the devil. Additionally, people believe that the boundary between this world and the other world becomes closer during this time, which makes contact with IOC, which are spirits, easier. Most scholars believe that the IOC to be pagan gods, and we know that pagan gods are demons. Even though this might just be a belief, it is true that participating in this festival can make it easier for demons to enter into your life at this time.
Probably important day on the satanic calendar. It's considered a high day. It is also the night of the year where there is the most human sacrifice on the whole planet. So if we look at it in a, let's call it the popular culture aspect first, so many people think Halloween is about candy and it's about dress up, but they don't question the meaning behind it. So let's say, for instance, in a neighborhood or an area, there's homes that celebrate Halloween, where they put up the decorations and they do the pumpkins and they do the candles and the candy, those things, right? And it's fun. Let's say in a neighborhood, there is houses that do that. So that whole perimeter becomes one big satanic ritual for that whole neighborhood.
Wait. So you're telling me, because I've got them already up, it's September. There's skeletons, there's creepy stuff in our neighborhood already. So you're saying my neighborhood right now is cooked? Like, what are you saying there?
So I'm saying that in a neighborhood or a area perimeter where there is a few homes, that is already a set up as in terms of a hotspot for demonic activity. And anybody, whether they're Christian or non-Christian, that have open doors, that moves or lives in a neighborhood like that will be affected. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so what do we do as Christians?
So, firstly, we make sure that we are in righteous standing with God, that we do not have any hidden sin or open doors in our life, that we are in a righteous covenant with Him. So, if we can get there, that is a very good place to start. And then it is about praying, like being in serious prayer, that people who celebrate Halloween, whether they're being a Satanist or an atheist or someone having fun, that whilst they're doing that they will actually have a true encounter with Christ.
Trick-or-treating was also a part of the festival, where people went door to door reciting verses in exchange for food. The costumes may have been a way of disguising the person from the IOC. However, Yahuwah is the only one who can protect us from demons, and no costume or spirit can do that. Therefore, wearing a costume may actually do the opposite, attract demons, since they know you agree with this pagan celebration. Apple bobbing was also part of the festival, and it was used for divination. Bonfires were also a big part of this festival. Jeffrey Keatings claims in his book Fisa ar Irem that Druids lit a sacred bonfire and made sacrifices to their gods, sometimes by burning their sacrifices. This corresponds with Riaan Swiegelaar's message that Halloween is the day where there is most human sacrifice on the whole planet. And this message comes from a former Satanist who knows the ins and outs of Satanism. It was suggested that the fires were a kind of imitative or sympathetic magic, mimicking the sun's helping power. Jack-o'-lanterns also come from Samhain. The origin comes from the Irish myth about Stingy Jack, who tricked the devil for his own gain. When Jack died, is said that God did not let him go to heaven, and the devil did not want him in hell since he was angry at Jack. So Jack had to roam the earth for an eternity. Therefore, people started to carve scary faces out of turnips to frighten away Jack's spirit. When Irish immigrants moved to the US, this tradition turned into carving pumpkins instead, since these were native to the region. Deuteronomy 12, verse 29 to 32. When Yahuwah your Elohim cuts off from before you the nations which you go to dispossess, and you displace them and dwell in their land, take heed to yourself that you are not ensnared to follow them, after they are destroyed from before you, and that you do not inquire after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Also will I also will do likewise. You shall not worship Yahuwah your Elohim in that way, for every abomination to Yahuwah which he hates they have done to their gods. For they burn even their sons and daughters in the fire to their gods. Whatever I command you, be careful to observe it. You shall not add to it nor take away from it. Ask yourself, do I want to be part of a festival that sacrifices thousands of people, including children? Do I want to participate in a celebration that glorifies Satan and his demons? Beware, even though Christians say that it is fine to participate if you use it as an opportunity to minister to people, it is not. Do not give the devil a foothold. Ephesians 4 verse 27. We should close our doors, anoint our homes, and pray for protection during this time.